Kindness always returns. Karma rewards even the smallest good deeds. This simple idea may sound poetic, but life proves it true again and again, often in the most unexpected and extraordinary ways. Every action we take sends a ripple into the world, and those ripples eventually make their way back to us. Even a gentle gesture, a smile, a helping hand, a moment of compassion, can grow into something far greater than we ever imagined. In our busy lives, we often underestimate the power of small, everyday acts. We think that only great sacrifices or dramatic acts of generosity can make a difference. But the truth is far simpler. Kindness is never wasted. The universe has a way of reflecting our intentions back at us. When we do good without expecting anything in return, we plant seeds that bloom in ways we cannot predict. Imagine a young woman named Emma. She worked long hours, barely earning enough to cover her bills. Life was tiring, and she was exhausted most days. Yet she had a habit. Whenever she saw someone struggling, she would help, even if it meant slowing down her own day. She once bought lunch for a hungry child, helped an elderly neighbor carry groceries, and comforted a coworker going through a rough time. None of these gestures were grand or expensive. They were simply moments of pure human kindness. One evening, Emma was rushing home in the pouring rain. She had forgotten her umbrella and was already soaked. While crossing the street, she noticed a woman trying to shield her toddler from the rain with nothing but her scarf. Without hesitating, Emma stepped forward, covered them both with her jacket, and helped them reach a nearby shop. The woman thanked her repeatedly, but Emma just smiled and walked away, not knowing she had just helped someone who would later change her life. A few weeks later, Emma found herself facing a major crisis. Her company suddenly downsized, and she was one of the employees laid off. With rent due and no savings left, she felt hopeless. She applied for dozens of jobs but heard nothing back. Days turned into weeks, and worry consumed her. She wondered why life was so unfair, why her efforts were not being rewarded, and why her kindness had not been returned. Then, one morning, she received an unexpected call from a well-known businesswoman who ran one of the city's leading firms. The woman warmly invited Emma for an interview. Confused but hopeful, Emma arrived at the office and was shocked when she recognized the woman sitting across the table. It was the mother she had helped during the rain. The woman smiled and said, "I never forgot your kindness. People like you deserve opportunities. I want someone compassionate on my team." Emma didn't just get a job, she got a better position, better salary, and a fresh start. Her life transformed completely because of a small, selfless act. She had expected nothing in return, yet karma returned her kindness multiplied 100 times. This is how kindness works. It may not return immediately. It may not come in the form you expect. But it always returns. Sometimes, your kindness comes back through a stranger. Sometimes through a new opportunity. Sometimes through a moment of help when you need it most. Karma doesn't forget. The universe listens. Every good deed becomes a light that finds its way back to you, even if it travels around the world first. But the beauty of kindness is that its true reward isn't material. Yes, kindness may bring opportunities, friendships, and blessings, but it also transforms you from within. A kind person sleeps with peace in their heart. They walk with purpose. They live with the deep satisfaction of knowing they made someone's day a little brighter. That alone is a priceless reward. In a world where stress and negativity spread easily, kindness acts like a counter-force, a soft but powerful flame that pushes away darkness. One gentle gesture can inspire others, creating a chain reaction of goodness. When one person chooses compassion, it silently encourages another person to do the same. Eventually, kindness becomes contagious. The smallest deed, a warm smile, an encouraging word, a small donation, a helping hand, can change someone's entire day or even their entire life. And you may never even know how your actions have impacted someone. That is the beauty of kindness. It doesn't seek recognition. It simply gives. So keep being kind, even when the world feels harsh. Keep helping, even when no one notices. Keep doing good, even when you feel invisible. The universe is keeping score in ways you cannot see. Kindness always returns, sometimes quietly, sometimes dramatically, but always faithfully. Karma rewards even the smallest good deeds, because every drop of goodness adds something beautiful to the world, and eventually, it comes back to bless the person who created it. Be kind not because someone deserves it, but because you do. Spread kindness not because life is perfect, but because kindness makes life better. And trust that every good act you release into the world will come back to you at the perfect time, in the perfect way. This is the unbreakable law of life. What you give to the world will someday find its way back to you. You never know who you are helping. Compassion can open unexpected doors. There is a saying that every person we meet is fighting a battle we know nothing about. Some hide their pain behind smiles, some walk confidently despite carrying invisible burdens, and some are searching for just a little kindness to keep moving forward. A simple act of compassion, so small that we may forget it the next day, can become a turning point in someone else's life. And in ways we often cannot imagine, that compassion may return to us as an unexpected blessing. Life has a beautiful way of connecting people's stories. Paths cross, moments happen, and tiny choices change entire destinies. You never truly know who stands before you or what role they may play in your future. The person you help today may be the very person who opens a door for you tomorrow. That is the magic of compassion. It creates bridges long before we realize we will need to walk across them. Consider the story of a young man named Jacob. He worked in a busy cafe and lived a simple life. Every morning, a middle-aged man in worn clothing visited the cafe. He always ordered the cheapest item on the menu and sat quietly in the corner, lost in thought. Most customers ignored him, and some even judged him by his appearance. But Jacob noticed the sadness in the man's eyes. One cold morning, Jacob saw the man shivering and coughing badly. Without hesitation, Jacob brought him a warm bowl of soup, free of charge, and said, "You look like you need this more than anyone today." The man hesitated but eventually accepted it with trembling hands. He whispered a soft, "Thank you," and Jacob simply smiled and returned to work. This became a routine. Jacob would occasionally bring him food, refill his cup without charging, or ask if he was okay. Their conversations were short, but the man's eyes slowly began to regain a spark. Months passed, and one day, the man stopped coming. Jacob wondered where he went and hoped he was safe. Eventually, life got busy and the memory faded. A year later, Jacob found himself in trouble. The cafe where he worked suddenly shut down due to financial difficulties. With no savings and no backup plan, he struggled to find a new job. He applied everywhere, hotels, restaurants, bakeries, but faced rejection after rejection. His confidence broke, and he feared he would lose everything. One afternoon, while walking through the city searching for job openings, he passed by a tall, modern building with a large banner that read, "New staff needed, apply inside." Desperate, he stepped in. The receptionist guided him to an office where he was asked to wait. Minutes later, the door opened, and Jacob froze. The man who walked in was the same man he used to help at the cafe. Except now, he was wearing a suit, healthy, confident, and clearly someone important. Before Jacob could speak, the man smiled warmly and said, "I was hoping our paths would cross again." He explained that he was once a successful entrepreneur but had lost everything: his business, his savings, and even his family's trust. During that dark period, he felt invisible to the world. Jacob's kindness, he said, was the first ray of humanity he had seen in months. "You didn't know my story," the man continued, "and I didn't expect anything. But your compassion reminded me that good people still exist. It gave me the strength to stand again." He then revealed that he had started a new company, one that was growing quickly, and he wanted Jacob on his team. "You believed in me when I had nothing," the man said. "Now let me believe in you." Jacob left that office with a job, a new opportunity, and a heart full of gratitude. A small act he had barely thought about had returned to him in the most extraordinary way. This is what compassion does. It opens doors we never knew existed. When we help someone with sincerity, we aren't just easing their pain for a moment, we are planting seeds that can bloom into unexpected relationships, opportunities, and blessings. And we never truly know who we are helping. The stranger you give directions to might be a future employer. The old woman you help cross the road might be the grandmother of someone who later helps you. The child you treat with kindness may grow up remembering you when you least expect it. Compassion is not a transaction, it is a connection. It is the invisible thread that weaves lives together in ways we cannot predict. Life is full of hidden intersections, and kindness ensures that when paths cross again, they cross warmly. Sometimes, the person we help never returns into our story, and that is okay. Compassion is not valuable because it pays back. It is valuable because it transforms us into better human beings. But there are times, beautiful, surprising times, when life brings kindness full circle, and we stand in awe at how one simple gesture changed everything. So help others, even when you don't know their story. Offer compassion, even when you receive nothing in return. Share warmth, even if the world feels cold. Because life has a remarkable memory. You never know who you are helping. And one day, the compassion you give freely may open the most unexpected door of your life.